A former Celtic legend has slammed the shocking scenes at Ibrox. Benjamin Nygren is being tipped for a massive Premier League move, and Mexico's national team boss just dropped a huge hint about Julian Araujo's international future. Plus, the fallout from the Ibrox chaos continues to dominate headlines. It's been an absolutely wild 24 hours. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Julian Araujo's impressive form at Celtic has brought him right back into the thinking of Mexico manager Javier Aguirre ahead of the upcoming international window. The right-back joined Celtic on loan to find regular football, and that decision has started to pay off big time. Araujo has played a steady run of games in Scotland and has handled the demands that come with playing for the Hoops. League games, cup ties, and Glasgow derbies have all been part of his season. For a full-back trying to break into a national team squad, that type of experience really matters. Celtic asked the right back to push high and support attacks, but the role also demands recovery runs and concentration when the ball turns over. Araujo has shown he can handle both sides of that job. Those performances have now caught the attention of Mexico's coaching staff. Aguirre confirmed he's been speaking with the defender while assessing options for the right back position. Competition is strong in that area of the pitch. Mexico have several players fighting for the same place, which means club form will likely decide who earns minutes in the next set of matches. Aguirre said to the Glasgow Times, "It's true that I also spoke with Julian Araujo, who is currently doing well in Scotland. Right back is a position where I have many options. We have Rodrigo Huescas at FC Copenhagen too, and I want to see our players in Europe in the future. Mexico are preparing for friendly games against Portugal and Belgium, matches that will offer a clear test for players pushing for selection. Those fixtures arrive at a key time with the World Cup fast approaching. For Araujo, strong performances in those matches could push him closer to the squad for the tournament. Mexico will host the competition alongside the United States and Canada, which raises the importance for every selection decision. That possibility adds extra value to his run of games at Celtic. Playing regularly in a demanding environment gives him the chance to show he can cope with the pace and pressure of international football. If that continues, the loan spell in Scotland may prove to be the step that keeps him firmly in Mexico's plans. Now, for the main story, as Benjamin Nygren has made a strong impression in his first season at Celtic, and former Arsenal winger Anders Limpar believes the Swedish attacker has the ability to reach the highest level. When Nygren arrived in Glasgow, he was mainly seen as a creative attacking midfielder. Over the course of the season, though, another part of his game has really stood out. The 24-year-old has become a reliable source of goals, regularly popping up in the box at the right moment to finish moves. That sharp movement inside the area has been the clearest strength in his game. Nygren reads the situation well and slips away from defenders who lose sight of him. A lot of his goals follow that pattern. He drifts into space, meets the ball early, and finishes before the defence can react. There's still plenty of room for him to grow. His link-up play can become sharper, and there are games where he's quiet for long spells before suddenly producing the decisive goal. That's part of the process for a player at his age. Celtic currently have someone who already brings goals while still having time to develop the rest of his game. Limpar believes Nygren has the level to reach one of Europe's biggest leagues in the future. The former Sweden international also pointed out that the Celtic midfielder is beginning to play a bigger role with the national team. He said to Record Sport, "Henrik Larsson was an idol when he played for Celtic, and he played for Barcelona too. And Benjamin Nygren isn't playing for Sweden when Alexander Isak and Viktor Gyökeres are fit. But now that Isak can't, he is definitely going to start up front against Ukraine. He's knocked in 20-odd goals in Scotland. He is a prospect and he's going to get better. Imagine him playing for a top Premier League side. I'm not saying that Celtic are not top side, but they are in Scotland. Nygren could play for Manchester United and he'd probably score 20 goals a season in the Premier League. He's that good. I just wish him all the best. But he is another player I wish to see stay a couple of seasons at Celtic, to settle in and then go. But he will definitely play a big role for Sweden with Victor up front. For Celtic, the ideal path is clear. Nygren is already delivering goals in Scotland and learning how to handle the pressure that comes with playing for the club. Another couple of seasons would allow him to improve the rest of his game. More minutes, more big games, and more chances to build consistency. If that happens, Celtic benefit first. Nygren then moves forward as a more complete player. In other news, Scott Brown has spoken out about the disorder that followed Celtic's penalty shootout win at Ibrox, warning the scenes overshadowed what had been a fierce cup tie on the pitch. The former Celtic captain watched events unfold after the final kick of the Scottish Cup quarter-final, where Celtic held their nerve from the spot following a tense 120 minutes without a goal. The match itself had been tight throughout. Both sides cancelled each other out in open play, and clear chances were rare, with the contest eventually decided from 12 yards. Celtic converted their penalties to secure a place in the semi-final. Celebrations quickly followed in the away end, where thousands of visiting supporters had travelled across the city after the return of larger away allocations this season. But the moment quickly turned chaotic as supporters from both ends entered the pitch and clashes broke out inside the stadium. The aftermath has since dominated discussion around the fixture and raised fresh questions about away allocations going forward. Brown believes the atmosphere inside the stadium during the match showed what the fixture can be when both sets of supporters are present. However, he also made clear that what happened after the shootout cannot become part of the occasion. He said to Talksport, "I'm sure Celtic and Rangers don't want that to happen again because it was a fantastic atmosphere at the game. You got 7,500 Celtic fans for the first time in about 10 years, which is incredible that we're able to get back to that. But those days of running on the park, fighting, scrapping on the pitch, 90 minutes, shout and swear, say what you want to the lads. But after that, that's it, done and dusted. It is ugly for Scottish football. We never want that to happen. We want there to be a good showcase. A lot of people down in England are watching that, and the way they look at us, that's what they're going to remember. The passion is unbelievable. Everyone knows the passion is unbelievable. But that part of the scene, it's a select part of the crowd that always want to spoil it for everybody else." The return of a larger away allocation brought a different feel to the fixture. Thousands of travelling supporters behind the goal helped create the kind of noise that had been missing for years. That is why the fallout has been such a talking point in the days since the game. Clubs and authorities now face pressure to ensure scenes like that do not return when the sides meet again. For players and supporters, the football should remain the focus. The match itself was tense and competitive, exactly what a knockout tie between the two sides usually brings. Lastly, Brian Graham has spoken about the scenes that followed Celtic's penalty shootout win at Ibrox after attending the match in the away end with his son. The experienced striker, a lifelong Celtic supporter, was among the thousands of visiting fans inside the Broomloan stand as the Scottish Cup tie ended in chaos following the final kick. Celtic progressed after the shootout, but the aftermath quickly overshadowed the win. After 120 minutes without a goal, the match was settled from the spot. Celtic held their nerve to secure a place in the semi-final, sparking celebrations among the travelling support behind the goal. Within moments, supporters from both ends spilled onto the pitch. What began as celebrations soon turned into something far more volatile, with flares thrown and clashes breaking out around the stadium. Graham had taken his young son along to the match, expecting a memorable experience. Instead, he described a situation that quickly became frightening for many families who had travelled to the game. He said on Clyde One Super Scoreboard, "I thought the atmosphere was good apart from some selected song choices throughout the match, but the scenes at the end were absolutely ridiculous. I'll not take my wee man back to it, it's just not worth it." That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.